Hi guys, this is January 2020, paper 2. Question 1. Simplify. This, hopefully guys, is easy. It is x to the power of 7, because we do 9 minus 2 is 7. This is 2 marks, so let's try and do maybe 2 steps. 8 plus 4 is 12. So it's 7 to the 12 over 7 cubed. And now it's like this one. We just subtract the powers, which is 7 to the power of 9. 12 minus 3, 7 to the power of 9. Question 2. Change 32.4 meters cubed into centimeters cubed. Right, be very careful guys. Straight away, our question 2, we have quite a tricky question. A meter cubed. Imagine we have a cube meter. Imagine this is a meter cubed. Now if this is a meter cubed, this is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, which means it's 100 centimeters times 100 centimeters times 100 centimeters, which means 1 meter cubed, which is this, is equal to 100 times 100 times 100, which is 100 times 100 times 100, which is 1,000,000 centimeters cubed. So in 1 meter cubed, there's 1,000,000 centimeters cubed. Think about it, a meter cubed is big, as a big volume. A centimeter cubed is tiny, so there you go. Now, if that's the case, then all I need to do is do 32.4 meters cubed is equal to 32.4 million centimeters cubed, or 32,400,000. Use your calculator if you want, guys. Just do 32.4 times a million. 3,240,000. Okay, question 3. Fractions. Show that this plus this equals this. Okay guys, hopefully we can all do these. I've seen these questions so many times. Change to improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14, so it's 14 over 3. Plus 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 4 is 19 over 5. Then this equals, this is my answer, so forget that for now. Change this into 15ths. Change this into 15ths. So how do I change thirds into 15ths? Well, I multiply the denominator by 5, so I multiply the numerator by 5, which is 70. I multiply the denominator by 3, I multiply the numerator by 3, which is 57. Then add these two, that's 127 over 15. And then 15 goes into 127, 8 times remainder 7, because 8 times 15 is actually 120, so it's 8 and the 7/15ths, which is actually what they wanted me to show. Okay, that's question 3. Question 4. Work out the value of x. This is fairly straightforward, guys. These all add up to 180 because they're angles in a triangle. So 4x plus 10 plus x plus 20 plus 30 equals 180. Add my x's, 5x, 10 plus 20 is 30 plus 30 is 60, equals 180. 5x equals 180 minus 60 is 120, and then 5 into 120 goes 24. Use your calculator if you want. This divided by 5 is 24. Therefore, x is equal to 24. Question 5. Use ruler and compasses to construct the bisector of angle BAC. You must show all your construction lines. Okay, so guys, again, I don't have a ruler and compasses, but I'll show you what to do. You put the pointy bit of your compass there. make a circle about radius about this long. Doesn't really matter. Not more than b though. And then just do an arc there. And then do another arc there. That will be the same distance because it's a circle around A. Then you pick up your ruler and you put your pointy bit there. Then you do another arc somewhere down here. All that matters is that when you go and do your arc from here, that they intersect. So you do your other arc there. And then you join this point to this point. Now, obviously, that doesn't look like a bisector, only because I haven't done this very accurately at all, but a bisector means it should cut it in half perfectly. Okay, that is question 5. Question 6. A bag contains only red, blue, green, and yellow beads. This table gives the probability. Taking one from the bag, the probability that the bead will be green is twice the probability that it will be red. She takes a random bead from the bag. She writes down the color, puts it back in the bag. She does this 180 times. Estimate for the probability. Okay, so let's just call this 2x. The probability for green is 2x, and red is x. Why did I call this x and this 2x? Well, it said the probability it'll be green is twice the probability it'll be red. So it'll be 2 times bigger than this. Then all of these numbers have to add up to 1. When you see one of these probability tables, guys, that's the key point, that all of these add up to 1, because it has to be red, blue, green, or yellow. So it's certain that it will be one of these colors. So x plus 0.24 plus 2x plus 0.31 has to equal 1. X plus x is 3x. 0.24 plus 0.31 is 0.55. 0.55 equals 1. 3x equals 1 minus 0.55, which is 0.45. And then x is equal to 0.15. That means the probability that it's red is 0.15, and the probability it's green is 0.3. That makes sense because this is twice this, and these numbers all add up to 1. But the question says she is going to take this ball out of the bag or the bead 180 times. The probability that it's red is 0.15. So if I just do 180 times 0.15, that will give me an estimate for the number of times she takes a red bead from the bag. 180, let's go back to the start. 180 times 0.15 gives me 27. So this is 27. I'll write that here. Question 7. Solve the inequality. This is easy, guys, just like an equation. 2x is bigger than 4 minus 7, which is negative 3, and x is bigger than negative 3 over 2, which is negative 1.5. That's the same thing. That's negative 1.5. That would be right. X is greater than negative 1.5. This one, well, it's not easy. It is a quadratic that we need to factorize. So the factors of x are x and x. The factors of 40 are 8 and 5. 8 and 5 will give me 3, but I need a minus 8 and a plus 5, because that will give me minus 8x plus 5x gives me the minus 3x that I need. So the factors are x minus 5 times x minus 8 times x plus 5. This has to equal 0. So either this is 0 or this is 0, x is 8, or x equals -5. Those are my two answers. Okay, question 8. The table shows the cost in euros of Bridget's car insurance in each of the years 2016, 17, and 18. Bridget says, the percentage increase in the cost of my car insurance from 2017 to 2018 is more than from 2016 to 2017. Is she correct? Okay, let's find the percentage increase. So let's do 16 to 17, 2016 to 2017. The increase is 45. So it's 545 minus 500 is 45. So the percentage increase is 45 over 500 times 100 to make it a percentage, and that is equal to 9. Use your calculator, guys, if you want. 9%. So her percentage increase from 16 to 17 is 9%. From 17 to 18, the increase 592 minus 545. The increase is 47. Then the percentage increase is 47 over the original, which now is 545, times 100. Now I need my calculator. 47 over 545 multiplied by 100 is this, which is 8.62. 8.62. Is she correct? No. She said it's more from 17 to 18 than 16 to 17. So, no, she's wrong. No. Why, as 9% is bigger than 8.62%. Okay, Henry wants to insure his car. He gets a discount of 15% off the normal price. He pays 952 euros for his car. After the discount, work out the discount that he gets. Okay, so he gets a discount of 15% and he pays 952. That means that 952 is actually 85% of the original. So 85% is 952 because 100% is the original. He got 15% off. So that's 85%. And we want to find out what was actually the discount that he got, right? So if this is 85%, we're actually trying to find 15%. But firstly, let me just find 100% because that's the kind of normal way we do these questions. So I do 1% is 952 over 85 divided by 85, and then 100% is 952 over 85 times 100. Let's do that. 952 over 85 times 100 is 1120. So 100% is 1120. So that is how much the car cost originally. The discount he gets is 1120, the original, minus what he paid, which is 952. 1120 minus 952 is 168. So that's the discount. The discount is 168. So just be very careful, guys, what they're asking. Okay, question 9. Density of gold is that. The volume is that. Work out the mass. Okay, the density, guys, the formula for density. Density is equal to mass over volume. If you recall, it's how much mass per volume. So the density is 19.3, so I'll sub in 19.3. The mass, I don't know. And the volume, I do know, it's 150. So how do I get the mass? all I have to do is multiply this by this. So mass is equal to 19.3 times 150, which is equal to 19.3 times 150 2895. Yes, that is correct. 2895 grams. 2895. Okay, question 10. Change 50 meters per second to kilometers per hour. Okay, 50 meters per second. What you gotta do, guys, is change the meters to kilometers and the seconds to hours. Let's first do the seconds to hours. So 50 meters per second is the same as, I've done this question a number of times, guys. It's worth noting that 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds because 60 times 60 is 3,600. 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. So if he's doing 50 meters per second, how many meters is he doing in an hour? Well, we have to multiply 50 by 3,600 because he's doing 50 meters in every second, and he's doing that for a full hour. So he's actually doing 180,000 meters, 180,000 meters per hour. So that's your meters per hour. But we want kilometers per hour. How many kilometers is 180,000 meters? Well, it's 180 because kilometers per hour, because there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So I divide by 1,000 and I get 180. Okay, question 11. The diagram shows a shaded shape, semicircle, and a right angle triangle. AC is the diameter of the semicircle ABC. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape, giving your answer to 3 significant figures. Okay, this question, guys, is, well, it's neither easy nor difficult. It's medium. So I need to get this length. I need to get this length and then add it to 17 and 15, because that's the perimeter. So 17 plus 15 plus this length. Let's call this length, let's actually call this length, well, let's call it L. Now, the way to get L is I need to get the circumference of the circle and half it, because it's like half a circle. How do I get the circumference of a circle? I need the diameter or the radius. So I need this length here. This I'm going to call x. Now, how do I get x? Well, this is a right angle triangle. It says it there, guys. As soon as I read right angle triangle, I was immediately thinking Pythagoras' theorem or SOHCAHTOA, but it's going to be Pythagoras' theorem because it's just lengths. So x squared plus 15 squared equals 17 squared. X squared equals 17 squared minus 15 squared. X squared equals, let's do 17 squared minus 15 squared is 64. Oh, this is actually a nice triangle. This is 64, which means x is 8. So this length here is 8. Okay, now how do I find the circumference of a circle? Well, circumference is equal to pi times diameter. Pi times diameter. The diameter is 8. So the circumference is equal to pi times 8, or 8 pi. If the circumference of the full circle, which would be this, is 8 pi, What's the circumference of half the circle? The length of half the circle, which we have called L. Well, it's half of h pi, which is 4 pi. Now I can get my perimeter. The perimeter, let's call it P, is equal to 17 plus 15, this plus this, plus L, which is 4 pi. Now I'm well aware he wants 3 significant figures, so at this point I go 17 plus 15 plus 4 pi, the pi button is down there, equals 44.566. 44.566. He wants 3 significant figures. That gives me 44.6. 1, 2, round that up to 6. So the answer is 44.6. Okay, question 12. Astrid wants to buy some oil. She can buy the oil from either Dane Oil or Arctic Oil. Here's information about the price that each company will charge. Astrid, this and this. Astrid wants to get the better value for money for the oil. $1 is 6.57 krone. From which company should she buy her oil? Dane Oil or Arctic Oil? Okay, so this is like a currency conversion question with some standard form thrown in. Okay, so we need to essentially, we need to convert one of them. We need to decide which one you want to convert. We may as well, guys, put everything in dollars because most things in this world are priced in dollars. So let's go with that. You could actually put them both in krone if you wanted. But if you can get 4.2 times 10 to the 5 liters for 2,500,000 krone. That means you can get how many how many dollars is this? So this is 250,000 krone, which is the same as, I need to divide by 6.57. So I'm going to do 2,500,000 divided by 6.57. 6.57 gives me 380,517. 380,517. 0.5, let's say $50. So Dane are selling 4.2, which is actually 420,000 liters for that many dollars. These guys are selling, this is Dane, and Arctic are selling, well, let's write it, Arctic, I'll do it here because I need space. Arctic are selling 860,000 liters for $770. Now the best thing to do, guys, is just figure out the price per liter. So Dane, if they're doing 420,000 liters is in this, then 1 liter is just this divided by 420,000. So I'm going to do this divided by 420,000, which gives me 0.90599 or 0.91, $0.91 for 1 liter, rounded to 2 decimal places. So they're giving 1 liter is $0.91. These guys are giving 1 liter for And now I need to do 770,000 divided by that. So it's 770,000 divided by 860,000. And that gives me 0.8953. 0.8953 or $0.90. So who's cheaper? He's 91 cent for 1 liter. He's 90 cent for 1 liter. So he's cheaper. Arctic is cheaper. Okay, that's it. Question 13. Here we have a circle, the angles are given, and we want to find the size of BDC. So BDC, so it's this angle that we are looking for here. This is angle BDC. Let's call it X. Okay, so we're trying to find angle X. There's a few things just to note straight away, guys. This is a diameter. So this angle here is 90 degrees. So if you write in the angles, you know straight away. It just makes this whole thing a lot easier. And actually, guys, this question is not that difficult, because if that's 28, this is 28. Now because these two angles, angles in the same segment, that is a circle property. These two angles are equal. This is 90, and this triangle, they all have to add up to 180. So I'll be able to find this pretty easily. So let's just write all this down. Now it says, guys, give a reason. So when it says give a reason for each stage of your working, you have to explain why each of those angles are what you're saying they are. So I'm going to say angle ACD equals 90 degrees because angle in semicircle, as long as you just say as long as you get the word semicircle in there, you'll be fine. Angle in semicircle, angle CAD equals 28 degrees, again because angles in same segment are equal. And then finally X plus 32 plus 28 plus 90 has to equal 180. I can write why this is the case, because angles in a triangle add up to 180, and then we just solve this, and the solution is X equals 180. This is 32 plus 28 is 60 plus 90 is 150, so it's 180 minus 150, which is 30. So X is equal to 30 degrees. Okay, question 14. There are 20 glasses in a cupboard. 13 are large, 7 are small. Roberto takes at random 2 glasses from the cupboard. Complete the probability tree diagram. Okay, so if he's taking 2 glasses, because he's taking 2 glasses, he's not replacing them. So the probability on the second branch will change. That's important. So 13 are large, so the probability of taking a large glass at the start is 13 over 20. However, okay, and I'll do 7 over 20 here as well, because there's 7 small out of 20, so that should be hopefully easy. But if he takes a large, now there are only 12 large glasses left because he's taken one. This is his first glass that he's taken. And there's now only 19 glasses left in total because, again, he's taken one. So that's 12 out of 19. This has to be 7 out of 19 because there's still 7 small glasses, but again, it's out of 19. And if he takes a small one, this is 12 out of 19 because there's still, I'm sorry, that's wrong. There's 13 out of 19 because there's still 13 large glasses if he's taken a small glass. And this is then 6 out of 19 for all the same reasons. He's taken a small, so now there's only 6 and there's only 19 in total. Work out the probability that Roberto takes 2 small glasses. Okay, 2 small glasses is this times this. Remember, guys, when we go along a tree, we multiply the probability. So it's this times this. So 7 over 20 times 6 over 19 is equal to, I'll use my calculator, 7 out of 20 times 6 out of 19 is 21 over 190. 21 over 190. Okay. Question 15. Hang on, guys. Is this correct? Yes. Okay, here are 6. Question 15. Here are 6 graphs. A, B, C, D, E, F. Complete the table below with the letter of the graph that could represent each equation. Write your answers on the dotted line. Okay, so let me zoom out. 2 over x squared. So let's maybe think of the ones that we do know. Okay, well, ideally we know all of these guys. This is the kind of minus 1 over x graph. So this has to be the minus 5 over x. So this graph is just the kind of positive reciprocal function. So if we had like y equals 5 over x, doesn't really matter what that number is here, but this would be something like y equals 5 over x. So this is the kind of y equals minus 5 over x. The cubic, so this is a positive cubic. This would be like, well, a half, y equals a half x cubed, but this is the negative cubic. So as x gets big, y gets big but negative. So this would be y equals negative a half cubed, sorry, a half x cubed. And then the x squared ones, well, if in doubt, guys, think what would the graph look like? So as x gets big, what happens y? Like if x was 100, what would y be? Well, it would be 2 over 100 squared, which would be 2 over 10,000, which is a very small number, but it's positive and it's close to 0. Now, which of these two graphs, when x gets big, does y stay positive and become very small? Well, it's this one, because here y isn't positive, y is negative. And because this is always going to be positive, think about it, it's 2 over x squared. No matter what you put in for x, if you put in minus 10, or 2, or 1, or, well, you can't put in 0, which is why there's an asymptote. But if you put in 500, or minus 500, or whatever you put in, this is always going to be positive. So the graph always has to be above the x-axis, which is why this one is our y equals 2 over x squared. This one would be y equals minus 2 over x squared because it's always negative, and this equals minus 2 over x squared because this would always be negative. Okay, so to answer the questions, this one has to be C, this one has to be B, and this one has to be E, because it's negative. Okay, That's question 15. Question 16. Make x the subject of this. Okay, so we need to get x on its own. The first thing I need to remove, the first thing I don't like, is this big square root. How do I get rid of a square root? Well, I square both sides. Square the left, y squared. Square the right, that removes, what am I doing? That removes the square root, x minus 4. Then I have a denominator that I don't like. I'm going to multiply across by the denominator. So x minus 4 times y squared, do not forget that bracket, equals x plus 1. So I've just multiplied across by the denominator. Then the only way to kind of get the x's together on their own is to multiply out this bracket. So I'm going to multiply it out. X y squared minus 4y squared equals x plus 1. I then need to get the x's on their own on the left. So I'm going to bring the x to the left. So I'm going to subtract x, and I'm going to add this 4y squared in one go. So all the terms with x's over here on the left, all the terms with y over there on the right. So I'm subtracting the x and I'm adding this. Then this is perhaps the tricky bit. You need to factorize out the x. So you take out x and you're left with y squared minus 1. That is factorizing x is equal to 1 plus 4y squared. And then finally, last step is to get x all on its own. I need to divide by this y squared plus 1. Now our x is the minus 1. Y squared minus 1. Our x is the subject of the formula. So x equals 1 plus 4y squared over y squared minus 1. Okay. Question 17. Prove that the difference between two consecutive square numbers is always an odd number. Show clear algebraic working. So firstly, let n squared and n plus 1 squared. So this kind of is your first step, guys. N squared and n plus 1 squared are our two. Let n squared and n plus 1 squared be our two, or just be two consecutive square numbers. They are square numbers, obviously, because it's squared and squared, and they're consecutive, which means they come right after each other, because this is n and this is n plus 1. So it's the next number. Okay, so we have to prove that the difference between two consecutive square numbers is always an odd number. So the difference means when I subtract them. So n plus 1 squared minus n squared. I'm going to subtract this from this to find the difference is equal to. Now I need to multiply out this bracket. This bracket, guys, becomes, again, if you're not sure how to multiply out m plus 1 times n plus 1, do it at the side. It's this times this, this times this, this times this, and this times this, plus 1. So it's n squared plus 2n plus 1. So this is, I'm going to just move that over here, out of the way. So this becomes n squared plus 2n plus 1 minus n squared. Now n squared plus 2n plus 1 minus n squared, these cancel. The n squareds cancel because it's n squared minus n squared. So this equals 2n plus 1. Therefore, always an odd number, because 2n plus 1 is always an odd number, because 2n makes it even. When you multiply a number by 2, it's even, and then when you add 1, it's odd. Okay, that is question 17. Question 18. The histogram gives information about the times in minutes that some customers spent in a supermarket. So 0 to 10 minutes, the x-axis is minutes, 10 to 15, 15 to 25, etc. Work out an estimate for the proportion of these customers who spent between 17 minutes and 35 minutes in the supermarket. Okay, so if this is 10, right, let's find out what's happening here. This is 10, 15, 16, 17. This is 17. There. And we need to go to 35. So 35. Let me just check how many marks this is, guys. This is 3 marks just for this first part. Okay, so this is I need to go to 35. So it's this. Okay, so note, guys, the area, this is the most important thing in histograms, the area gives us the frequency. This is not the frequency, this is the frequency density. So it's the area tells us how many people. So if he wants a proportion, the proportion of these customers who spent between 17 and 35 minutes, we need to find out what fraction of the total is this, essentially. So let's first find out exactly how many, or let's find out the area of this entire histogram. So the area, the way we're going to do it is, we're going to get for all of these bars, we're going to get the area. So this first one, the length is 10, the height is 0.7. So I'm going to do 10 times 0.7 equals 7. So that means this whole area is 7. Then the next one, 10 to 15 is 5. So this length here is 10 from here to here. This length here is 5 from here to here. And then this length will be 10, and I'll keep going. But anyway, 5 times, this is 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. 5 times 3.4, this is 17. Use your calculator, guys, if you want. Then 10 times 1 is 10. That one's easy. This one, oh no, guys, sorry, that is not exactly 10. Hang on, gotta be careful here, they're being annoying. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's actually 9 times 1, which is 9. And then this guy is 6 times 2.5. 6 times 2.5 is 15. 6 times 2.5 is 15. And then the final big bar here goes from 30 to 45. Excuse me. So this is 15. So that's 15 times 4. Hang on, let me write this down. 15 times 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. 15 times 4.8 is 15 times 4.8. I need to use my calculator. 15 times 4.8 is 72. Okay, so the total area equals 72 plus 15 plus 9 plus 17 plus 7 and 120. So the total area is 120. Now I actually don't know what I know the total area is 120, so I do know that the number of people in total who went to the supermarket is 120. But what I want to find out now is how many people went between 17 and 35 minutes, which is this bit here. So I'm going to split it up now into 3 different bars. I'm going to do this one, I'm going to do this one, and then I'm obviously going to do this last one here. So I'll find this kind of total green area, and then I can just divide it, and that'll give me my answer. So this is, so that's 10, 15, 17 to 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 times 1, because the height is 1, which is 7. Then it's 11. This is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, hang on. Sorry, guys. What am I doing? It's just this bit I'm doing. 24, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 times 2.5, which is 15. And then finally, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4.8 again, 5 times 4.8, which is, I should know that, 5 times 4.8 is 24. Okay, so customers between, so total area between, the total area between 17 and total area between 17 and 35 is this plus this plus this. That would be 24, 34, 39, 46, 46. Therefore, the proportion is going to be, therefore, proportion is 46 over 120. 46 over 120. So it's simply, guys, if you think you can do it a slightly easier way, fine, go for it. Like literally counting up these boxes or whatever, but it's fine. You're just finding the area. So it's the green area over the total area. That's the proportion. Okay. One of the customers is selected at random. Given that this customer had spent more than 30 minutes in the supermarket, find the probability that this customer spent more than 36 minutes in the supermarket. Okay, this is a given that question, guys. So he's telling us that this customer had spent more than 30 minutes. Now let me zoom out a bit. So he's saying this customer definitely spent more than 30 minutes. Now I just need to look at this area, the area between 30 and 45. So what is this area? Well, my length is 15 and my height is 4.8. So I'm going to do 15 times 4.8 is equal to 15 times 4.8 is equal to 72. So that's given that this customer had spent more than 30 minutes in the supermarket. So now what he's saying is there are now only 72 people that we are looking at, because he tells us he did spend more than 30 minutes. So there's 72 customers that we're talking about now. Find the probability that this customer spent more than 36 minutes. So now I just need to find the probability he spent more than 36 minutes. Again, this question, guys, is all about area. So where's 36? 36 is here. Okay, let's find this area. What's this area here? This area, well, 36 to 45 is 9. So it's 9 times 4.8. So I'm getting the purple area. It's 9 across, 4.8 up. 9 times 4.8. Calculator again. 9 times 4.8 is 43.2, which seems like a strange number to me. Find the probability he spent more than 36 minutes. What am I doing? 9 times 4.8. So this is 36 to 45. That's actually right. Okay, that's all good. So 9 times 4.8 is 43.2. 43.2. Therefore, the probability that he spent more than 36 minutes, probability more than 36, given more than 30, is equal to this over this, 43.2 over 72. 43.2 over 72, 43.2 over 72, which is actually 3 over 5. Oh, perfect. So let me do that again. 43.2 over 72 is equal to 3 over 5 exactly. So that's 3 over 5. Okay. That is question 18. Question 19. Write down an equation of a line that is parallel to the line with equation y equals minus 4x. Sorry, 7 minus 4x. Okay, so parallel means same gradient. And the gradient of this line is minus 4. Because remember, the equation is of the form y equals mx plus c, where m, the coefficient of the x, that number that comes before the x, is the gradient. So the gradient of this line is minus 4. So it says write down, and it's only one mark, so I don't need to show any working, an equation, so any equation of a line that's parallel to this line. So all I need to do, guys, is write down y equals minus 4x. That's the key, that you've got minus 4. That's what gives you the right answer. And then you can do plus anything you want. You can do plus, you don't put anything. You could do plus 0, or you could do plus 532, whatever. Any number, that doesn't matter so long as you have the minus 4x. Okay, the line L passes through the points with coordinates this and this. Find the equation of a line that is perpendicular to L and passes through the point with coordinates this. Give your answer in this form. Okay, so to get the equation of a line, I need a gradient and I need a point. Now I have a point. This is the point that our line is going to go through, but I need to find the gradient. And to find the gradient, I'm going to use the fact that it's perpendicular to this line. So I'm going to find the gradient of L. So M, the gradient of L. So let's actually make that clear. I'll do M of L. That means the gradient of the line L. Now this, guys, is going to be my x1, y1, and this is my x2, y2. The gradient of a line is, the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is minus 2, and y1 is 1. So it's minus 2 minus 1 over 2 minus negative 3. Be careful. X2 minus minus 3 gives me minus 3 over 5. So that's the gradient of L. So our gradient, our M, I'm going to write therefore, our M, I'll just call it M, is equal to the negative reciprocal. Remember, if we're finding the equation, if we're finding the gradient of a perpendicular line, we flip this upside down, which is 5 over 3, and we make it positive. We change the sign. This is a negative gradient, so this guy's a positive gradient. Okay, so that means our gradient is this, and our point is this. And then we're going to sub that into the equation of a line formula. you can use y equals mx plus c. I like, guys, if you see my videos before, I like to use this formula, y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. I like this formula just because you sub in this stuff and you immediately get an equation. Now he does want it in this form, which is going to maybe cause problems, but let's just put in the values first. So now our y minus, now just be very careful, guys, at this point, this is our point. So our point is minus 6, 4, which means our x1, y1 is this. This is our x1, y1. It's now not this. It's neither of these points because our line is not going through these points. It's going through this point. So I do y minus y1, which is 4, equals m into x minus x1, which is negative 6. So it's minus negative 6, which is going to be plus 6. So be careful. But actually, sorry guys, I forgot my m. My m is 5 over 3. So I have m into x minus negative 6, which is y minus 4 equals 5 over 3 into x plus 6. Okay, so this is the equation of the line, but he has asked for it in this form where a, b, and c are integers, so he doesn't want a fraction there. So how do I get rid of a fraction? Well, I multiply across by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3, which means multiply everything by 3. So it's going to be 3y minus 12, because 4 times 3 is 12, equals multiplying this side by 3 gets rid of the denominator, which is the point of the whole thing, x plus 6. So my 3 disappears here, and both of these get multiplied by 3. Then multiply our bracket, 3y minus 12 equals 5x plus 30. And I'm nearly finished, guys. I am then going to just write this as 5x. So I'm going to leave the 5x on this side, guys. I'm going to subtract the 3y minus 3y. I'm going to add the 12 plus 42 equals 0. So I've just rearranged this equation and I've got this, which is the correct answer. Okay, question 20. The area of a rectangle is 18 centimeters squared. The length of the rectangle is this. Without using a calculator and showing each stage of your working, find the width of the triangle and give your answer in the form of this. Obviously, guys, this is not going to be a simple question. Let's first draw our rectangle. Okay, this length is root 7 plus 1. The width, I don't know. Let's call it x. You could call it w if you want. I'm just going to call it x. Now, he says the area of the rectangle is 18 centimeters squared. So when I multiply x by this, I get this times this has to equal 18. Now he says do not use your calculator. So when he says that, basically, guys, don't use a calculator. You can check your answer at the end with the calculator, which we might do, but I'm going to try and do it without my calculator. So how do I find the area of a rectangle? Well, I do width times length, or length times width. So root 7 plus 1, that's the length, times the width, x, has to equal 18 because he says it. Therefore, x is equal to 18 divided by root 7 plus 1. So that is x, that's the width. But he has said give your answer in this form. So how do I put this not so nice looking expression into this form? Well, I have a surd underneath the line, so I need to rationalize the denominator. So this is a rationalize the denominator question, kind of hidden in an area of a rectangle question. So how do I do it? Well, I multiply above and below by the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate means if this is plus, the conjugate is minus. And if this was minus, the conjugate is plus. So it's just the opposite side. It's the same thing with the opposite sign. Okay, so I multiply this out. 18 times root 7. I'm going to multiply the numerators together and multiply the denominators. So the numerator, 18 times root 7 is just 18 root 7. 18 times negative 1 is minus 18. All over. Now I need to multiply these two brackets out. So root 7 times root 7 is 7. Root 7 times minus 1 is minus root 7. 1 times root 7 is plus root 7. And 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Which gives me 18 root 7 minus 18 all over. And this is, you'll see guys, this is why you multiply by the conjugate of the denominator, because these two, the minus root 7 and the plus root 7, cancel, because that's minus root 7 plus root 7 is 0. So I'm just left with this over 7 minus 1. We can all do 7 minus 1. It's 6. And then very nicely, these all are, I can divide both by 6. So this divided by 6 is 3 root 7. This divided by 6 is 3. So I'm left with 3 root 7 minus 3, which is in this form because they are all integers, and that is correct. Okay, that is question 20. Question 21. Okay, the diagram shows a sketch of part of the curve y equals f of x. So this is a quadratic. It is a parabola, a negative parabola. There is one maximum point in the curve, that's this point. The coordinates of this maximum point are 4 and 6. Write down the coordinates of the maximum point on the curve with the equation y equals this. Okay, so this is just testing our knowledge of transformations. So when I apply the transformation, this transformation, and I get f of x plus 4, it moves, it's a horizontal translation, but this way, and it's 4 units that way. So instead of being 4, 6, it's now actually going to be 0, 6, because it's moved left 4. And this one, this is a horizontal stretch of scale factor 1/2. So what I do is I multiply the x coordinates by 1 over 2. So 4 times 1 over 2 is 2. So this maximum now goes to 2, and the y coordinate doesn't change. So it's 2, 6. Okay, the equation of the curve of a curve C is this. So this is a different curve. The curve C is transformed to curve S under the translation 4, 6. Find an equation of curve S. Okay, so this, I'm trying to figure out, is this anything to do with this? No, it isn't. Okay, so we have a curve y equals x squared plus 3x plus 4. And then this curve is transformed to S under this translation. You do not need to simplify the equation. Okay, so what this means, guys, is I'm going to move it. So I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to say f of x is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 4. Now to apply this transformation, I have to get f of x minus 4, because this will move the curve to the right 4. So I need to get f of fx minus 4, and then I need to add 6, because this is a vertical translation of 6. So to move this curve up 6, I need to add 6 to the to the end. So, and he says you don't need to simplify the equation, guys, so that's nice. And it's only 2 marks, so that's why it's not actually too difficult, because now I just sub in x minus 4 squared. So instead of x, I put x minus 4. Instead of x here, I put x minus 4. There's a plus 4, and then I have to add 6 because I've said I'm going to add 6, so I add 6. And there we go. That's the answer. He says you don't need to simplify the equation. I will just do 4 plus 6, guys, because I think it is reasonable to do 4 plus 6 is 10. And that gives me the answer. Okay, that is question 21. Question 22. The line with equation this intersects the curve with equation this at the point A and B. Find the coordinates of A and B. Okay, this, guys, is what I call simultaneous equations where one equation is not linear. So this is not the linear equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to sub this into this. And this equation is already written in a nice form. It's written as y equals x plus 2. So I can sub, instead of y over here, I'm going to put x plus 2. Now you could write this as x equals y minus 2 if you want, and then sub that in for x, but let's just do this because it's nicely written. So I have x plus 2 instead of y. So this equation is going to be x squared plus, now instead of y, let me just be crystal clear what I'm doing, guys. This is y, and instead of y, I'm going to put this. So instead of this y, I'm going to put x plus 2. Instead of this y, I'm going to put x plus 2. So I have x plus 2 squared, because remember this is y squared, but I'm going to write x plus 2 squared. And instead of minus 2y, I'm going to put minus 2 times x plus 2. And that equals 24. Now I have an equation with just x's in it, and I can multiply out and solve this. So this is x squared plus, multiply this guy out, guys. I get x squared plus 4x plus 4. Do it the long way if you want, guys. X plus 2 times x plus 2 equals, this times this is x squared, this times this is 2x, this times this is 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. Hence, x squared plus 4x plus 4. And this, when I multiply it out, is minus 2x, and minus 2 times 2 is minus 4, equals 24. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared. 4x minus 2x is plus 2x. 4 minus 4 is 0, and then minus 24 equals 0. So, guys, what I did is these two cancel, and then I just subtracted 24. Then I can divide across by 2, because that'll make the numbers easier. So x squared plus x minus 12 equals 0. And then I can factorize this. It is x and x. Factors of 12 are 4 and 3. Plus 4 minus 3 will give me my plus x, or my plus 1x. So my factors are x plus 4 times x minus 3. Use a calculator, guys, at this stage to help you if you need it. That means x plus 4 equals 0, or x minus 3 equals 0. X equals negative 4, subtract the 4, and here x equals plus 3, because I'll add the 3. So now I have my two x values. To find y, I go back here. Y is x plus 2. So y is equal to minus 4 plus 2, which is minus 2. And here, I'll just do a line down here, guys, just to be clear what we're doing. And here, y is equal to 3 plus 2, which is 5. So I have now my two solutions. Minus 4 minus 2, that's this one. So I have my minus 4 minus 2, and then I have my 3, 5. So here I'm going to put minus 4 minus 2, that's my x and my y, and here I have to put my 3 and my 5. Yes, it does matter which is which. You can swap these two around, but you can't swap your x's and y's because these are points. Okay, that is question 22. Question 23. Okay, this is difficult, guys. ABC is a triangle. M is the midpoint of BC, and P is a point on AM. So this is P. It says AB is 4A, AC is 2B, and AP is this. Find the ratio AP to PM. Okay, so we're trying to find this ratio. We want to get AP to PM. And actually, I should have put an arrow here. Okay, so I'm going to go... I have AP. He's given it to us. So this is AP here. So I just need to find PM. And if I can find PM, hopefully it'll be some version of this, or well, it will be a multiple of this. It'll be smaller than this. It might be half of this. I don't know. And when I find out, that will give me the ratio. So, for example, like if it was a half, the ratio would be 2 to 1. I don't think it is a half, but we're going to find out. So I need to find PM. That's my goal. I'm going to go from P to M. P to M. But I can't go, I don't know it. I don't know from here to here. So I can't go this way. What I have to do is go this way. I'm going to go from P to A. So this is equal to P to A. Then from A to B. So plus AB. And then from B to M. From B to M. Now, I have PA because it's just negative this. It's negative AP. So I can write PA, that's not a problem. AB I have, that's not a problem. But BM I don't have. But I can find it. How can I find BM? It's half of BC. So over here, guys, you can obviously write down here. I'm just going to write up here so I don't run out of space. BC is, I'm going to go this way, minus 4a, because I'm going backwards against this one. So it's minus 4a plus 2b. So minus 4a plus 2b. That's BC. So BM is just half of this. So half of that is minus 2a and half of 2b is b. So that's BM. Okay, now I have PA, I have AB, and I have PM. So hard work is done. Right, let's write it down here. PM equals PA, as I say, is negative this. So it's minus 3 over 2a minus, both minus guys, 3 over 4b plus 4a, because AB is 4a, it's given. And then plus this, which is actually minus 2a plus b. So that's my 3 vectors. Let's try and explain this. PA, guys, is this. This is PA. AB is this. It is also given. And then BM is this. Okay, simplify all of this. Get my A's together. Minus 3 over 2a minus, okay, well actually I have a 4a minus 2a is 2a. 2a minus 3 over 2a is a half a. So guys, that's just fractions, adding fractions. Use your calculator if you need to do it. Minus 3 over 2 plus 4 minus 2 gives you a half. So it's a half a. And similarly, minus 3/4 b plus b is plus 1/4 b. Now, let's have a look. PM, so AP is this, 3 over 2a plus 3 over 4b. And PM is 1 over 2a plus 1 over 4b. So what have I done to AP to get, or sorry, what do I need to do to this to get AP? Well, if I multiply this by 3, AP is equal to 3 times this. Because if I multiply this by 3, I'm going to get 3 over 2a, 3 over 2a, and 3 over 4b, 3 over 4b. So AP is actually equal to 3 times PM. It's 3 of them. Therefore, the ratio of AP to PM is 3 to 1. So AP, the length of AP to PM is going to be equal to 3 to 1, because AP is the bigger one. I need 3 of these to equal 1 of these, so the ratio is 3 to 1, and I'll write down here 3 to 1. Okay, that's question 23. Question 24. Express this as a single fraction in its simplest form. Okay, guys, obviously this looks terribly hard, but actually when I see a question like this, I'm somewhat happy because at least I know what to do. It's not easy to do it, but I do know, well, I'm good at algebra and that helps. So what do? I need to subtract these two fractions, so write this as a single fraction. Then I need to factorize this. Right, it's complicated. Let's look at this first. 4, let's just do the brackets first. 4 over 2x minus 5 minus 3 over 2x minus 3 equals, I am going to make a common denominator. This is algebraic fractions. My common denominator is going to be this times this. Then my numerator is 4 times this, 4 times 2x minus 3, minus 3 times this, 3 times 2x minus 5. Then I'll simplify the top, multiply out. It's 8x minus 12 minus 6x plus 15 all over 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 3. And that equals 2x plus 3, so that's 8x minus 6x is 2x, minus 12 plus 15 is plus 3 over this, 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 3. Okay, that is the brackets bit written as a single fraction. Okay, now let's look at this. 9x minus 4x cubed. Okay guys, this really is a challenging question because there's so many different parts of algebra thrown into one. 6x squared minus 17x plus 5. Okay, we need to factorize the top. So first thing to factorize is the x. I'm going to take out the x, and that gives me 9 minus 4x squared. Now this, guys, is a difference of two squares. I'll get to that in a second, but as soon as I see 9 minus 4x squared, I think difference of two squares, because that's a square and that's a square. This factorized, 6x squared minus 17x plus 5, right? That's a very difficult one to factorize. I'm going to use my calculator to help me. Remember, guys, if you're struggling to factorize, you can use your calculator. It doesn't factorize for you, but it can help you because it'll solve the equation if that equals 0. So what I do is I go to polynomial, degree 2, because it's a quadratic, and then I write 6 here, negative 17 here, and 5 there. And it gives us two solutions, 1 over 3, so it's these two. It's x is 5 over 2, and x is 1 over 3. So the factors of 6x squared minus 17x plus 5, I know I'm going to use 2 and a 3, so it's going to be 3x and 2x, and I know that it's 1 over 3, so this is going to be 1 and this is going to be 5, and both have to be negative, so these are the factors: 3x minus 1 times 2x minus 5. Okay, so I'm just going to put this slightly, well, I'm going to put it over here. So guys, factorizing that quadratic is hard. If you don't know what I did there, I suggest you go and learn it because it's complicated. Okay, the numerator, as I said, this part, so there's an x here, but this part is a difference of two squares. It's a square minus another square. How do I factorize it? Well, there's a formula for factorizing a difference of two squares, and it's a squared minus b squared equals a plus b times a minus b. So I need to find out what's a and what's b. Well, a is 3 because this is like 3 squared. Let me write over here, guys, just to show you what I'm doing. This is 3 squared. All right, here, 3 squared minus 2x squared. So it's 3 plus 2x, 3 plus 2x times 3 minus 2x, like this. And then all over 3x minus 1 times 2x minus 5. Okay, right, now it says this, let me get out my highlighter again. It says this, which is this, divided by, actually let me do this. It says this, which is this, divided by this, which is this. So I'm going to do pink divided by green. Pink divided by green. So 2x plus 3 over 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 3. That's pink. Divided by green. But when I divide by green, I flip and multiply. Because remember, keep, change, flip. You turn this one upside down. Turn the one you're dividing by upside down and multiply. So it's 3x minus 1 over 2x minus 5 over x times 2x, x times 3 plus 2x times 3 minus 2x. So clearly, guys, I've just turned this one upside down and I've changed the divide to multiply. Now, what's going to happen, which I expected, is a load of these things cancel. So I have my 2x plus 3 and I have my 2x plus 3 here. They cancel. I have my 2x minus 5 here and I have my 2x minus 5 here. And then I have 2x minus 3 and 3x minus 1. Nothing I can do with that. So I'm left with, in the numerator, 3x minus 1. And in the denominator, this times this times this. And I'll write it as x times 2x minus 3 times 3 minus 2x. And that is this simplified. Obviously, guys, very, very challenging question. Lots of things going on. It's testing your factorizing. It's testing your algebraic fractions. It's testing your division of fractions. It's just a really hard question, but that's it. That's the answer. Okay, how many more questions, guys? Oh, there's still 2 more questions to go. All right, question 25. Mario is going to save $50 in the year 2021. He's going to continue saving up to and including. He's going to continue to save up to and including the year 2070 by increasing the amount he saves by K dollars. He will save a total of 33,125 from here to here. Work out the value of K. Okay, so the first thing to think about, guys, is this is an arithmetic sequence. In 2021, he will save $50. In 2022, he will save 50 plus K dollars because we're adding K. In 2023, he will save 50 plus 2K dollars, and he's going to go all the way up to ... 2070. Now this will actually be equal to 50 plus okay, well, I don't need to put that in yet, but just note this is 50 years, because if you're starting in 2021, 2070 will be the 50th year, and the 50th term in our sequence. Well, whatever this is will be the 50th term. He then says Mario will save a total of 33,125. So over here I'm going to write down the first term. This is an arithmetic sequence because we're adding k each time. The first term is 50. The second term, the common difference, the d, is equal to k, because that's what we're adding on each time. K, 2k, 3k. So the common difference is k. N, which is the number of terms, is 50, because my first term is 2021, which means my 10th term is 2030, which means my 50th term is 2070. And my sum of 50 terms, my S50, is equal to this. It gives it 33,125. Okay, now in your formula booklet, guys, they give you a formula. I'm just going to write it here. It's Sn equals n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1d. That is in your formula sheet and the front page of this paper. So I'm going to sub this stuff in here and solve the equation. That's it. Is it a hard question? Well, I would argue the question before was a lot harder. I think this one, provided you figure out it's an arithmetic sequence and you can find out why these 4 values are there, then you should be fine, because we're just going to sub it in. So S50 is 33,125. N is 50, 50 over 2. A is 50, 2 times 50. N is 50, so it's 49D. I'm just going to write 49D. And D is K. So I have this. Okay. Now I do need to solve this properly, guys. So I have my 33,125 equals 50 divided by 2 is 25. 2 times 50 is 100. And 100 plus 49k. I'm going to divide both sides by 25. Definitely use my calculator for that. 3, hang on, I need to go back to the beginning. 125 divided by 25 is 1325. Okay, this is now 1325 equals 100 plus 49k, because I've divided this side by 25, so he disappears. I'm then going to subtract 100, so 1225 equals 49k, and then I'm just going to divide this by 49, and that should give me hopefully k. 1225 divided by 49, and I get 25, which is the correct answer. Nice. K is equal to 25. So here, k is equal to 25. Okay, last question, please. Yes, it is. Right. We have a sector. I'm assuming, guys, this is going to be tricky because it's the last question and it's a sector. Here's the sector of a circle with center O. This angle is x. The sector can form the curved surface of a cone by joining OA and OB, right? So I've actually done this. I remember in real life, you can get a sector, join A and B, and you get the curved bit of the cone. The height of the cone is 25. The volume of the cone is 1600. Work out the value of x. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. Okay, right. This does seem hard, right? Let me think. So this is x degrees. The volume of a cone, okay, I think I know what to do. The volume of a cone, let's write that first. Volume of a cone. This is given in the formula booklet. It is 1/3 pi or squared h. Okay, we have our h, we don't have our radius. So I'm going to write this is equal to a third, well, hang on, for our cone, it is a third pi times radius squared times 25, and that equals 1600 because he tells us in the question it's 1600. Now I'm going to multiply by 3, divide by 25, and divide by pi. So r squared is equal to, right guys, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going to multiply by 3, 1600 times 3, multiply both sides by 3, and divide by 25 pi. 25 pi, and then r is the square root of this. So it's the square root of 1600 times 3 over 25 times pi, which is this. So the radius is 7.8, I'll do 7.8176. 7.8176. Remember, don't round too much in the question, in the middle of the question. So this is my radius, and it's this value. Okay, now the curved surface area, because I need to, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to find the area of, the area of this sector. And the way I'll get the area of the sector is by getting the curved surface area of the cone. So the cone, all right, let me write curved surface area of a cone. So that will be the area of the curved part of the cone. Now that, guys, I can find through, well, it's also on the formula sheet, and I actually can't remember what it is. It is this. The curved surface area is pi times r times L. Okay, pi r L. That's easy to remember. Let's go all the way down. Here we are. Okay. The curved surface area of a cone is pi or L. Now, I have pi. Our curved surface area is pi. I know what pi is. Times the radius. I know what the radius is. It's 7.8176. But I don't have L. Now, how can I get L? Well, I can get it using Pythagoras' theorem, and I'm going to actually just move everything down here, guys, because I'm going to run out of space. Okay, this is a right angle triangle here, and I have this length, I have r, I can find L using Pythagoras' theorem. So L squared, the hypotenuse squared, is equal to 25 squared plus r squared, which is, well, 7.8176 squared. L is then the square root of 25 squared plus 7.8176 squared. I'll do all that in one go on my calculator. So it's the square root of 25 squared plus 7.8176 squared, which is 26.1938. Let's go, 26.1938. Okay, that's this value here, 26.1938. Now, I can use that on our curved surface area. So it's pi times radius times L, which is 26.1938. This is the curved surface area. So this times 7.8176 times pi, which is here, is 643.312. 643.312. Okay, that's the curved surface area of the cone, but that means that's also the area of the sector, because the area of the sector is the curved surface area of the cone, because it says it. The sector can form the curved surface area of the cone. So now I know my sector area of sector is equal to 643.312. Okay, that's the area of the sector. Now, I've actually, guys, just forgotten. I haven't forgotten the formula for the area of a sector, but I've forgotten if you are given it in your formula sheet. Let's check. Okay, you are not given it. Okay, so the area of a sector formula you are not given, but you need to remember it. Now there's quite a nice easy way to remember it. It's just the area of a sector, it's the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. Now that you need to know. The area of a circle is pi r squared times the angle, which in our case is x, over 360. That is because it's that fraction of the circle. Whatever the angle is, that out of 360 is the fraction of a circle. So the area of our sector is going to be, right, okay, the area of our sector has to equal this. So pi times radius squared. Now in our sector, okay, here's another little tricky bit. In our sector, the radius is equal to, it is equal to this length here. It's equal to 26.1938. So just be careful, we have two radiuses here, the radius of the cone, but the radius of the sector is actually the length of the cone, because if you joined A and B, if you can imagine in 3D joining A to B, that's what that length would be. In fact, here it is, AB. It'd be from O to AB. Okay, so it's 26.1938. So pi times 26.1938, pi r squared, this squared, times x over 360 equals, and guys, I need to do this, I need to do this. Yes, I'm aware, guys, this is hard. Equals this, 643.312. Now, I have an equation with just one little x in it, which is what I need to find. So I'm actually quite happy, because the rest I can find x now. I can find x by multiplying by 360. So it's 643.312 multiplied by 360 and divided by pi times this squared, pi times 26.1938 squared. Hopefully this gives me the right answer, guys. If not, I have to do the whole question again. 643.312 times 360 over pi, use the pi button, pi times 26.1938 squared, which is 107.4427, which is right. Lovely. 107.44, 107.44. He says give your answer to the nearest whole number, which is then 107. Obviously, guys, look, he's given you 2 whole pages to work on this. It's worth 6 marks. That's the end of the paper. I squashed things in here, guys, just so you can see it all kind of on the one screen, but you should make use of the 2 of all the space they give you. Okay, that's it, guys. That's the paper. Yeah, not an easy paper for sure. Some difficult questions at the end, but we're starting to get used to that. Okay, see you for the next video.